Hi, and welcome to another episode of Athena Insights. My name's Linda Murray. Athena Insights is really about helping professional women to put their best stiletto forward by giving you the tools and motivations that you need. Got a fantastic guest speaker with us today, Deena Thompson, who practices psychotherapy at You, Me, We Counselling. Deena also facilitates amazing mindfulness-based stress reduction programs here in Sydney, and it's through these two modalities that she helps people really create the life that they love through authenticity and also wisdom. So welcome to the show, Deena.
Thank you, Linda. It's just lovely to be here and a real honour to be presenting the information today.
Fantastic. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
So look, the whole topic of mindfulness, it's very much a buzzword at the moment. Did you want to start by just telling us a bit about what mindfulness actually is?
Absolutely. I'd like to give credit where credit's due. This mindfulness was actually started by John Kabat-Zinn about 3 decades ago. So this is a tried and true program that's been tested in time and been very successful for a lot of individuals over that time. So John actually describes mindfulness as paying attention moment by moment. And another one of the lovely gurus in the mindfulness field is Jack Cornfield.
Right.
And I'd just love to quote something from Jack. He talks about if we take care in every moment, then life will be taken care of. So this is really what mindfulness is all about. It's about getting out of automatic mode and bringing ourselves and our energy to every moment that we live.
So I imagine that would have been something that was very intrinsically natural to people years ago, but based on society and our busyness and what have you, we often forget just to be still and just take that time to ourselves. We're so outward focused, aren't we?
Very outward focused. Our culture has demanded us to be very diverse in our attention. We're trying to get people back on track, giving a little bit of quality to what people are experiencing every day and every moment, not only for themselves, but actually in interaction with other people. So this is a marvellous thing for business leaders and women that obviously you deal with to have the very best of them put forward.
Yeah, fantastic.
And so the program is actually about teaching people step by step how to get to that point, how to get back to that ground zero, if you like.
Okay, great. So it's a mindfulness-based stress reduction program, and is it based on meditation?
It is based on meditation, a sitting meditation practice, but much more. We go through a number of skills, and the main reason why we do this is because there's a number of ways that we can actually change the brain so that we can have these skills on a long-term basis. They're there permanently for us.
Fantastic.
So we might look at things like in the first part of the program, we do what's called a body scan practice. And the brain actually changes through this practice. We have to learn to pay attention to changing sensations throughout the body. Not change them, just be with them and learn to accept them and move from one thing to another. And did you know that in our brain, once we start practicing that, we're actually going off on a completely different track. And we are training ourselves to be able to change from one thing to another without losing focus on each one of those things. So it's a wonderful skill.
So just to clarify, when you say we go down a completely different track, what does that mean?
It means that we're actually training ourselves to be focused and to stay in a moment rather than quickly lose track and go off and divert into something else.
Okay.
Which we're basically training ourselves to do with all of the things that are around at the moment. This instant gratification that we're demanding ourselves and lots of stimulation in our life is actually training us that other way. We want to get back to the quality of the moment.
Right, so it's really creating that separation between what daily life is these days, which is a series of alerts, bings, things demanding of your attention, both people and online, to just being inwardly focused.
That's
and
right.
Reaping the benefits of that.
And being able to stay there. One of the products of mindfulness and the program is what we call equanimity. And this is going to be the new buzzword around
Equanimity.
At the moment. So
Good.
equanimity. And this is about maintaining a composure of ourselves and who we are authentically while there's lots and lots of things going on around us.
Right.
So there could be fires going out everywhere. But if we can maintain our composure, we can actually respond to a situation rather than react.
Okay, which is so important.
Very, very important. So one of the things that actually gets produced from that is what I call a creative space for life.
Yeah, right.
And we carry that with us all the time if we can maintain that equanimity and composure.
So you heard it here first, folks. Mindfulness is a buzzword at the moment. Equanimity is the next buzzword. Start using it now. You'll be ahead of the crowd.
Absolutely. And it's a lovely thing. One of the images that I like to talk about in the program is we can actually sit like a mountain and we're really steadfast and unshakable in all of the dramas of our life.
Yeah,
and if we can contain that ourselves in that composure or have that composure, we can remain unreactive to all the weathers that change around us,
right.
all the different things in life that we're presented with. We still have ourselves. And if we can have that space between everything that's going off over there and ourselves, we have what's called, or what I like to call, a creative space for life. And that gives us time, that gives us energy, that gives us an understanding to work out into what do we need to do next. Okay.
Which really are three things that most people would beg for more of. Everyone's looking for more time, more energy, and easier decision making, or clarity around their decision making so that they can be more confident in the decisions that they're making and therefore embark on life with greater certainty, really, isn't it?
Perfect. And let me put a little bit of brain science to that too.
Yeah, sure.
What happens with mindfulness and meditation practice is that we start to use the prefrontal cortex of the brain, or the front part of the brain,
right,
which is about decision making and cognitive abilities.
Yeah.
So when we're reacting all the time, we're actually stimulating the limbic part of our brain. Once we're actually in that limbic part of the brain, we can be emotionally flooded, so we don't have access to our cognitive abilities.
So the limbic part's where the fight or flight response basically comes from, isn't it?
That's right.
And I think it would be fair to say when you react rather than consciously respond, you tend not to make your best decisions at that time, do you?
Well, you don't have access to it.
Yeah, right. So that's why you were actually functioning from the wrong part of our brain for that moment.
Yeah, so this is one of the major products of a mindfulness and meditation practice.
Awesome. So in terms of the benefits of it, tell us more about those.
First of all, in terms of our stress response, we're regulating that constantly by this practice so that all of those, the adrenaline, heart rate, pulse rate, all of that gets regulated constantly. What I encourage with the program is that people have a daily practice.
Right.
So this accumulative effect of a practice maintains and sustains our ability to keep our stress response low.
Yep. So tell us about what a daily practice would look like for someone who's not accustomed to being mindful.
Okay.
What would you recommend that they start doing?
I'd love to see most people put aside 45 minutes a day.
Wow.
And the way you can actually do that is a variety of things if you want to. You can actually sit in a sitting meditation for 45 minutes.
Yes.
Great benefit. But if you're the sort of person that likes to be a little bit active, you can also do your meditation through walking.
Oh, fantastic.
There's a wonderful Vietnamese monk called Thich Nhat Hanh, and he has produced some walking meditations and trained us in how to be mindful through walking meditation. So you can do it through walking meditation.
Which is fantastic because most people say they don't have time to exercise anyway. So then if we're trying to find another 3/4 of an hour to be still.
That's right.
So that's great. Do both of them at the same time.
That's right. You can also use a yoga practice.
Okay, great.
It's a wonderful mindfulness practice. It's a way of actually training yourself to be with your breathing.
Sure.
And to be with the sensations of the body.
Great.
Which is all about mindfulness.
So if someone is going to commit to spending 45 minutes doing a mindfulness-based meditation, what are some of the outcomes that they're likely to enjoy?
Well, they're going to be a lot less stressed for a start, more relaxed. they're going to have this permanent creative space for life, if you like. They're going to have this equanimity.
Yes, there's that word again.
Response. Yes, it tricks us up every time. So they're going to have this ability to be able to respond to life. So the quality of their beingness is going to change. Interactions with people are going to change. With some of your business leaders, I would imagine that one of the things that trips them up is their interactions with their staff or clients or people they're in service with. So to have that creative space, that ability to be able to have composure and think about how they're going to respond, have that space between us, is going to give them a much more fulfilling outcome and a much more productive outcome.
Great. And I know everyone processes at a different speed. Some people just seem to have the answer before you've even finished the question, whereas other people would much rather, let's say it was a conflict-based situation or a big strategic decision that had to be made, they'd rather be presented with all the facts and details and then actually go away for a couple of days. Do you think adopting a meditation like this would help people process faster in the moment, even the ones who would usually like to remove themselves from a situation before acting?
Definitely, and I think the results of the program, having been run for 3 decades, has proven that. It has given people the ability to have access to their cognitive abilities so that they can respond in a very different way. Fantastic. A couple of the other things that are produced through the program is acceptance. So when someone is presenting you with something that is difficult, you're there to listen and accept, first of all, what they're saying, rather than defend against it.
Which tends to be the default, doesn't it?
It does.
And it doesn't really create many good outcomes. If someone's presenting their idea which they believe in and the other person's defending against it,
it's a battle.
That's not the way forward. Yep.
It ends up just becoming a battle of who's right or who's wrong. And one of the other lovely qualities that we try to encourage is a sense of compassion and care for whatever is presented. And also the third thing that's most important is that we have a sense of being curious and inquiring. So when somebody is presenting something, you are able to sit back, listen, accept, and have a sense of care about what they're presenting and inquire about it.
Yeah. It's amazing. This talks so many of the newer modes of science or psychology, such as appreciative inquiry. Leadership has very much shifted towards authentic leadership. And I think this is why we're seeing a push for more females in higher ranks in organisations, is because of the qualities that females naturally exhibit and the personality traits and what have you, which are much more of that softer style. Much more empathetic and compassionate, as you said.
And cooperative. Mindfulness is so much about our ability to interact well.
Yes.
And as women, and I'm absolutely with men as well, it is about how's everyone going to win.
Well, and this is your point, is it doesn't have to be something you're born with. It's something that anyone and everybody really should be practicing so that they can get the benefits and implement every day.
That's right. And as you say, I really think this is where business is going, into a much more cooperative field. So, this program uses a lot of ancient wisdoms.
Yes.
And it's a lovely, very humanistic way of dealing with people and dealing in business.
Fantastic. So, Deena, just to wrap up, any last tips that you'd give us, either, things that you've done in your life that have made a big difference or components of the program that you think would be really beneficial for people and easy to implement?
Yes, look, I would recommend to everyone, the program is run throughout Sydney. It's an 8-week program, and to commit yourself for this just once in a lifetime. There's many people that come back a few times because each of the skills that's presented, understanding how to read your body and read your body wisdom, is one of the wonderful benefits of this thing. And you've got that for life.
Yeah, fantastic.
And to put yourself through that 8-week program and see how you emerge from that and all of the benefits that you will personally discover about yourself, and then how you can bring it to your work, to your family and your friends.
Great. And aside from that, as you said, try to implement 45 minutes of stillness, be that an active meditation or a seated meditation or a practice like yoga.
Yes.
for example?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So how would people find out about your program?
By looking up under You, Me, We.
Yes, .com.au, is it?
.net.au.
.net.au.
And it's also run by, I have been teacher trained by a place called Open Ground.
Okay, great.
And these people run wonderful programs all throughout Sydney and Australia.
Fantastic.
And they have been directly trained by John Kabat-Zinn. So right from the horse's mouth, wonderful people and a wonderful program.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you so much for coming in and
It's been
sharing
my
all
pleasure.
those insights.
Yes.
Thanks, Deena.
Thank you.